Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is November 16th, 2025, and Roony Bardaghji has addressed the rumors regarding his exit out of Barcelona. Also, the club have reportedly received an offer for Ferran Torres. You're not going to believe how much the offer is for. And finally, Robert Lewandowski is outperforming Kylian Mbappé and Erling Haaland in this one specific stat. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the channel. My name is Boo, and I'm bringing you this short live stream because today I had a hectic day, so I had no time to film, edit, and post. So instead, I'm doing a live to bring you all Barcelona news. This is not a podcast, so I won't be reading the chat section live, but don't worry because tomorrow is podcast day. So, of course, tomorrow we'll be addressing all your comments in the chat section, as podcast day has become my favorite day for that reason alone. All right, let's start with the news because, ladies and gentlemen, Roony Bardaghji has addressed the rumors of his exit. Now, Roony Bardaghji has not been getting a lot of minutes under Hansi Flick. In fact, he has only played 173 minutes in La Liga and only 22 minutes in the Champions League. And, of course, there's been talks about clubs monitoring the situation of Roony Bardaghji, trying to pounce on the chance of signing him since he hasn't been getting a lot of minutes. Amongst those clubs are Stuttgart out in the Bundesliga and Porto out in the Portuguese league. And while the day of yesterday and even today, I started seeing a lot of rumors, a lot of posts going around saying that since Roony is not getting playing time, that he is considering leaving in search of more minutes somewhere else. Now, given all these rumors swirling around, the player was asked, hey, what's going on? Are you leaving? Are you not? And well, this is what the Barcelona attacker had to say in regards to his exit. At Barca, I have a great time, and I also have a very good relationship with Hansi, who is an incredible coach. He and the club trust me, and that means a lot. The rest, I don't know. A lot of things are written, but I'm not worried about them. So Roony Bardaghji pretty much shutting the door at a possible exit, saying, look, club trusts me, the coach trusts me, I'm happy here. Whatever the press writes, that doesn't concern me. I don't know about that. All I know is that, well, what he said, that he likes Barca and that Barca and the coach have trust in him. And of course, you know, when I saw those rumors, I was like, well, there's no way. I mean, the guy just arrived. Not only that, he's arrived to play in a position where it's occupied by Lamine Yamal. He knew from day one that his role is going to be more of a rotational role, because when you get signed to a position that's occupied by one of the best players in the world, well, it's not going to be to bench him. It's going to be a compliment to him. And of course, Roony Bardaghji, knowing that, plus again, he just arrived, there's no way he would expect to start right away, especially not at FC Barcelona, and especially now when you're competing with one of the best in the world. But hopefully we will see Roony Bardaghji more often, because I think given the minutes, Roony Bardaghji will be able to impress. And plus, it would be nice to, you know, be able to rotate Lamine Yamal more often, especially with that pubalgia injury that he's been dealing with. All right, from one attacker, we move on to the next because, ladies and gentlemen, it's being reported that Tottenham Hotspur have made an offer to Barcelona for Ferran Torres. And you're going to fall out of your chair when you hear how much the offer is. But English media sources are saying that Tottenham Hotspur have offered Barcelona 65 million euros for Ferran Torres. Now, I came across this report today. I tried to cross-reference it with other sources. Some big media outlets are reporting it like Sport. I want to put an asterisk right next to it. Not because of the offer, but because of the amount. 65 million euros seems like a little bit high. But anyways, this is what the report is saying, that Tottenham Hotspur are offering Barcelona 65 million for Ferran Torres because they believe that he has what it takes, or his skills, his skill set, his specific skill set translates perfectly into English football. Plus, he already has Premier League background, right? He played at Manchester City, and that Tottenham Hotspur believe that makes Ferran Torres an ideal reinforcement for them. Plus, he is 25, so a lot consider that he's now entering his prime years. So, being about to go into his prime years, being that he has Premier League experience and that his skill set is translates good for English football. Tottenham Hotspur believe that Ferran Torres will be a great reinforcement for them, and as such, they have reportedly made a 65 million euro offer to Barcelona. Now, this has reportedly opened a debate within Barcelona on whether to accept or not. Of course, the player has to okay this, but if he does, the debate is, do you get rid of him or not? Because on one hand, 65 million euros for a player that you paid 55, that's been at the club for now, 3.5 seasons, so he's mostly amortized. That could mean a significant financial boost for Barcelona. But on the other hand, of course, that leaves Hansi Flick with less attackers. And we've seen with how long the season is, how many competitions there are, how many matches, you need as many players as you can. And with Lewandowski being 37, and he's going to be leaving next summer, and then you sell Ferran, that kind of leaves you with very limited options, which means Barcelona would then have to go to the market and not only replace Lewandowski, but also try to replace Ferran Torres. So, of course, my question to you is, if you were the sporting director and you receive 65 million euros for Ferran, would you sell him? Yes or no? For me, I would sell Ferran Torres for $5, but I do also have to take into consideration that, well, you sell Ferran, now you have to go to the market to try to replace him because now you have one less attacker. And of course, it's going to be two less attackers because Lewandowski is most likely leaving at the end of the season. Now, speaking of Robert Lewandowski, his agent has addressed the rumors of his retirement. I guess you can't say exit. It's exit out of the football world. Now, Lewandowski was asked a couple of days ago, what are his plans come this summer? Does he want to retire? Does he want to go somewhere else? Does he want to stay at Barca? And his answer was that he didn't know what his plans were because he first wanted to kind of think about it, see, like, even if Barcelona approached him right now, he would still have to wait a little bit to decide on whether to continue or not. And this, of course, opened up a lot of questions on, does that mean he would retire? Did those statements mean that he's considering retirement, or was he only saying that about Barca, right? Because just because you believe you cannot continue at Barca doesn't mean you cannot continue playing football. It could mean like, hey, I'm just not physically in shape anymore to keep up with Barca, but maybe I could keep up with, I don't know, MLS team, Saudi Arabian team, right? So this is what his agent, Pini Zahabi, had to say once all these questions started to swirl about whether Lewandowski will retire or not. The reports that Lewandowski is thinking about retiring are incorrect. He's a very special striker, but there is no news yet regarding the renewal of his contract or his future with Barcelona. So there you have it, folks. Pini Zahabi closing the door on Lewandowski retiring. But of course, the question is, will he remain at Barca or not? That's another question. But retiring, that's not something he considers. In other words, if Barcelona do not offer him a contract renewal, there's a big chance that Lewandowski could continue his career somewhere else. And of course, my question to you is, would you like Lewandowski to continue at Barcelona? Yes, no? Let me know down below in the comment section. And that brings me to another important stat that I came across today, where Lewandowski is currently outperforming Kylian Mbappé and Erling Haaland. Now, check this out. Lewandowski has scored 7 goals in 449 minutes, given that he's been injured. So he hasn't been playing a lot. But that means that Lewy this season has been scoring 1 goal every 64 minutes. 1 goal every 64 minutes. Now, when you compare that to Kylian Mbappé, Mbappé has scored 13 goals in 1,050 minutes. That means that Mbappé scores 1 goal every 80.7 minutes to Lewandowski's 64 minutes. Then we have Erling Haaland, who has scored 14 goals in 948 minutes. That means he scores 1 goal every 67.7 minutes. Again, to Lewandowski's 64 minutes. And finally, there's Harry Kane, the only player in the top 5 leagues that's doing better than Lewandowski, because Kane has scored 13 goals in 794 minutes, which means that Kane scores 1 goal every 61 minutes. So Kane is 61 minutes, Lewy is 64, Haaland is 67, and then we have Kylian Mbappé with 1 goal every 80 minutes. Pretty impressive numbers for a 37-year-old. Anyways, let's end today's video because Vitor Roque is currently in the hot spot. He has been caught in a scandal where he has been accused of homophobia. Now, on October 5th, Palmeiras, where Vitor Roque plays, defeated Sao Paulo. And during that match, Vitor Roque scored a goal. And after that match, Vitor Roque posted the following picture. It's a picture of a tiger that is holding a deer by the head. Now, this post has caused some backlash where people have accused Vitor Roque of homophobia. This case has been forwarded to a tribunal where Vitor Roque was supposed to appear, and if found guilty, he would have been suspended 10 matches. But it looks like Palmeiras have reached an agreement with that tribunal. That way, Vitor Roque doesn't have to show up and get suspended. Instead, the club will pay an 80,000. What is it called? I forgot. The local currency. Anyways, 80,000. That's what Palmeiras will have to pay as a fine for this quote-unquote homophobic post. Now, you might say, what is homophobic about this post? So, as you know, Vitor Roque's nickname is Tigrinho, which is tiger. So he posted a tiger and is holding a deer by the head. Now, a deer is an homophobic insult that they use in Brazil against gay people. They call them deer. I don't know what's gay about deer. But anyways. And Sao Paulo fans are called Bambis because they are deer, because in other words, they are gay, right? That's how Sao Paulo fans are mocked, that they are gay. And as a result, they are called deer. So by posting this picture of a tiger biting the head of a deer, he's calling the Sao Paulo fans deer, which is also a bad word for gay people, and he's being accused of homophobic. A little bit silly, but I don't know. Maybe it is a big deal in Brazil. You guys let me know. Do you think this post is truly a homophobic post, or is this like censored culture going a little bit too far? Let me know down below in the comments section. Anyways, that is all the news for this live. I will see you guys tomorrow in tomorrow's podcast, my favorite day. And that's it. You guys have a good night. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and as always, be Barça.